Hello and welcome back to my channel, Welshman Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing my review for Saw X, or Saw 10 as well. This is the 11th installment of the Saw franchise. Obviously, this is the 9th one of the Saw movies. We did get Spiral, we did as well, which is more of a spin-off from the original story or the main storyline. But we do get this one. It is directed by Kevin Greutert, if I said that right. So he has directed Saw 3D and Saw 6 before this, obviously, and a few other movies as well. It's written by Peter Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg, who have written a few of the movies as well, especially the Spiral one as well, the last one that came out, and Jigsaw, and a few other horrors as well together. Piranha 3D, Piranha 3DD, so a couple of remakes, but they're Shorty Road as well, with these ones as well. So this is a prequel to number 2. So this takes place between 1 and 2. So it's a sequel to 1, a prequel to 2. So it takes place bang in that middle of them two movies, it does. So we do follow John Kramer, who comes as Tobin Bell comes back playing John Kramer, who, as we all know through the previous movies, has terminal cancer. So he finds out of a guy who's in his cancer group, like a support group, who has miraculously recovered from his terminal cancer, that there is doctors out there who can perform procedures who will cure the cancer for him, like a cocktail of a mixture of a cocktail of medicine and surgery which can cure him. But the problem is it's not legal in America or other main countries. So he does get in contact with them, and the woman who is ahead of this is Cecilia Pedersen, who is played by Synnöve McCordy Lund. If I butchered that, apologies. Whose father is the one who comes up with all this medicine and the procedure it does. But she has her own little group who help terminal cancer victims. But unfortunately, as if you've seen the trailer, you understand this, and obviously going by the other movies, they don't cure him. They don't remove his tumor from his brain, and they don't cure the cancer. They don't. So he gets his, don't want to say revenge, because it's never revenge with these movies. So he gives them a second chance at the end of the day. So he gathers all the players that were in it. So it was like a surgeon who wasn't a surgeon. He works at the vet center, I think, in Mexico, where they are. Another woman who's on drugs, who's I think they say is the house they're at, she owns, or her family as well. And a couple of other people who play certain characters in the surgical group. So obviously with the help of Amanda, who we know comes back in this one from the trailers, they try and give them a more think about their life a little bit more. But it doesn't go to plan, unfortunately. So that's when we get the whole traps and that, and a little bit of double crossing here and there and stuff. So I am done hard about making this a spoiler review, to be honest, because unfortunately with this movie, as much as I did enjoy it, I actually do think it's probably the best one since probably 3 or 4, the first 4. It falls into the territory that The Nun fell into and other movies like that, where unfortunately with the main characters, John Kramer and Amanda, you know where their story ends. We've already seen the ending of their story in this franchise. And it's the same as The Nun. With The Nun 2, you have Valak comes back and Maurice, but you know for a fact in them movies that they were never going to be defeated, because at the end of the first Nun and the beginning and part of The Conjuring tells you that they do carry on, unfortunately, and Valak comes back in The Conjuring too. So it's the same as this movie, really, as you've got John Kramer and that, you get a couple of double crosses in it, but you never feel too invested in the characters, as in, or they were going to be in danger or anything, because you know where their story ends, unfortunately. And I think that all comes down to, and I think the writers of the originals and all that, and maybe the directors as well, have come out and said that they probably killed off Jigsaw and Amanda way too earlier. Fair enough, we did get Hoffman from the fourth one onwards, which, you know, he was good. I enjoyed them parts of the story in them ones. But to me, I think Amanda should have stayed alive longer than number 3, just to push it along a little bit more. So yeah, that's one of the big problems for this movie is the investment in these characters, which you know are dead in the original in the earlier movies that were brought out. So that's one of my big problems for this movie. But overall, it does do a little bit of fan service. We do get a lot of good new traps. A couple are better than others. You do get a couple. You get one where she has to, is it a ghillie saw? She has to saw her leg with a ghillie saw and get bone marrow out of her leg to help her escape one. Another one then is he has to do brain surgery on himself to get rid of, to get out of his trap. You do get a boring one where one of them is she's chained by the ankle and the wrist, and she's up in the air, and then you have a radiation machine burning her, so she has to break her arm and her ankle to get out of that one. And then the last one on it is a waterboarding one, but instead of water, it's blood. So you get like a seesaw thing. So each one, you either want to get killed or you get the other person to be killed, waterboarded to death. So you get a couple of more. The only one I was a little bit disappointed with is the ones you see in the posters. It's going to be up on my thumbnail and all that, where you have the tubes in the eyes. So that is not an actual trap. You do see it in the movie, but it's more of Kramer seeing a porter stealing from someone who's in a coma or out cold because he's got loads of broken legs and arms, etc. It is, but it's more of him imagining what that trap will do to that person. But it doesn't come into fruition. The porter changes his mind, and Kramer says that's a good choice. So you do see the trap and how it works and what happens to it, and it is a thing of it does suck the eyeballs out of that person, and because he's got picky fingers, because he pickpocket or he nicks stuff, it is a thing of breaking his own fingers or losing his eyes. So that is a really nice, I was going to say nice, I don't want to really say nice for these traps, but it is a good gory, not so much the gory one, but a good trap to see. But unfortunately, it's not really in, like I said, it's in more of a dream sequence type of thing. It is. So that's a little bit disappointing with that, I was. Overall, the actors are great. Again, Tobin Bell knocks it out the park with this character. He does, and so does Shawnee Smith, who comes back as Amanda Young. It is. We do get a couple of new ones. Like I said, Sinovi McCordy Lund, who plays Cecilia Pedersen. Or she's a little bit of a bitch in this movie and that. And it's good to see. You don't see enough of them in the game that Jigsaw plays. You don't see enough of the bitch who doesn't really what's the word I'm looking for here? Doesn't really care about having a second chance. She just wants to escape, let's say, and all that. But you do get a couple of other good characters. Was it Renata Vega, Gabriella, one of the other people who are trapped, Octavia Hinojosa. If I butchered that, apologies, who plays Matteo as well. Michael Beach, who's only in it for a little bit, and in the end credits as well. There is one end credit scene, or mid-credit scene, which does pay a bit of homage to the rest of the series. It does. He plays the cancer victim who survived from that procedure, who didn't really survive. He was part of that game. But yeah, the acting is very good. I did enjoy the music. I do love it right at the end when they do the reveal of everything that happens and you have the music playing. Still gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. I think that's one of the best things of these movies. It does. But yeah, overall, I do think it's not as good as the first three, maybe four, but I do class it better than the rest after that. But like I said, unfortunately, you don't get invested in the characters too much. You don't, and yeah, it's you know where the characters go. But other than that, it is a good entry in the Saw movie. Probably would have been better off being a prequel to the first movie, so not really introducing Amanda quite yet. So it's kind of I would have liked to see this being more of a Tobin Bell Jigsaw's character, learning the things, maybe doing a couple of mistakes and that. I would have probably preferred that because they do concentrate on his cancer quite a lot, which I did enjoy in the first part of the movie. But the main antagonist of the movie, Cecilia Pedersen, knows he's Jigsaw, and he flies to Mexico, and that bothered me a bit as well. So you think his face would be plastered all over the wanted signs and stuff, but hey, this is movie land after all, so you got to get the movie flowing and stuff like that. But I did enjoy this movie. Worthy of a watch, especially if you like these type of movies. And I can see them actually, if this does well in the cinema, which I think it's done okay so far, I can see them doing another sequel in this vein, to be honest. So we will have to wait and see for that. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think of the Saw series and thing. It's not my best franchise I enjoy the most, but I do enjoy at least the first three. I think is a really good trilogy out of this franchise. So let me know what you think of these movies, and if you've seen this one, tell me what you thought of this movie. And if you'd like to see more reviews like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.